Failure is success in progress. Albert Einstein. My friends, if that's good enough for Albert Einstein, it's good enough for us. Do not worry about how long it takes you to master the markets. Just stick with it because you are making your way each and every day. And once you master the markets, you'll make up for all the time you ever spent. Let's jump into these charts. Everything up for the day except gold. We see the S&P 500 bounding up quite nicely for the day, only to be surpassed. Well, Bitcoin's up 3% plus, and the NASDAQ 100, which I started to say was the highest, is up 2.48. So again, a decent day in several of these charts. As we look at the two-day chart, and again, this two-day chart represents Tuesday. This is just Tuesday. We're going to see it close on Wednesday. The Monday chart was a little green up candle with a little bitty on the bottom. You see a little small wick and OK wick on top. This latest candle moving up nicely, not quite up to half the distance in the volume. Had decent volume on the last several candles. We'll see how this one finishes on the two-day chart. Lighter volume on the half day. You can see up in the morning, a little further up in the afternoon. Now, the question is it going to bounce off the weekly trend line on the two-day and the half day? We'll have to see. So far, no strong candle here on the weekly chart. Volume is okay, about where it would be as we enter mid-week. We'll see just how high it gets. But right now we have, and in fact, we can blow this up a little bit, see a little more on the weekly, and that is not the weekly. Sorry about that. Let's put the right frame in. There we go. So you can see as we look real close, the entire movement is well within that prior down candle. Don't even have the wick piercing the weekly candle yet, so we will keep an eye on things. Overall, again, we've got a lot of weight pushing things down. Doesn't mean the market's turning around. Doesn't mean it isn't. We'll pay close attention with this interim low and see where this volume gets to, because if the volume gets up to average volume this week in a green spinning top, might be time for us to jump into another move to the upside. Otherwise, it could collapse and fall back over. About ditto as we look at the NASDAQ 100. It is up more, pushing through that weekly trend line on the two-day, It is doing it right now. The half-day went up to it in the morning, pushed through in the afternoon. We have a green spinning top where we can see just a little bit of the wick on top is pushing through that weekly trend line. So again, we've just had more energy up or down over the last many weeks in the NASDAQ. That's why we traded it on this up move and traded it on this down move. It's good to us in both, was it not? Gave us beautiful wins. Now, that's where we are. So we're looking to see how this week goes on both the S&P and the NASDAQ 100 and whether or not we have an interim low and a green spinning top with average or higher than average volume for a potential turnover, rotating back up. Remember, guys, it's an election year. Do you think the people in charge are going to let the market crash? Probably not. And again, now they have a new candidate. Now they have some energy. Again, they hold the reins of power. The people in government are going to be working for them. So you might see the market move around. You might. And again, things start looking bad, it could collapse again. But with a little energy there, do not underestimate the ability of politicians to jack around with the economy. I mean, what is this COVID bump been like? Let's look at where we are with government bonds. They are up for the day, 0.69%. We can see the latest candle is moving up. Now, again, we've had it bounce off this ceiling. Are we going to get up to it and bounce off it again or push through it? We can see on the half day we're above that weekly trend line as we are on the two-day, as we are, of course, on the weekly. Volume not super strong on the two-day, not super strong on the half day, and darn sure not super strong on the weekly. We'll see how bonds continue to progress. we have not been trading bonds lately because, frankly, the charts have been abysmal. They haven't given us any signals that we would rely on. So we'll keep our eye on things and see where they go in the future. What about gold? Well, gold pulling back a little bit for the day, down 0.15% right now on the weekly chart. We see the candle is pushing through. The 2-day has pushed through. The prior 2-day, and we have some 2-day push through. And again, look at where it's topping, about where it topped back on the Thursday, Friday, the 1st and 2nd of August, and back on the Tuesday, Wednesday, 16th and 17th of July. So we'll watch and see what gold is going to do, if it's going to give us any kind of signal that we can actually trade on. Not a lot of volume so far this week. I mean, well, I take that back. We're about average right now. Nothing on the 2-day, though, blowing it out. I'm talking about the weekly being about average right now, just 2 days in. And you can see on the half day, nothing knocking it out of the park. So we'll keep our eye on gold, see where it takes us. Bitcoin up 3.10% for the day. The 2-day and the half day have pushed through that weekly down candle. Where are we on the weekly? We've got a doji, a tiny little doji right in the middle of that big prior down move. So we'll just keep our eye on it and see what Bitcoin is going to do. We had the interim low, but then we had a red spinning top with average volume, and things are trying to tick on up, but not telling us a whole lot. That is where we are. Always love to hear from you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, cw@chartingwealth.com. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.